Matthew, what's up, bud? How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good,
Good to
good,
see
good,
you.
man. Yeah, I'm glad we were able to put this together and kind of just share a video a little bit about both of our companies and why a strategic partnership made sense between Roofle and Best Roofle Marketing. So this is it's exciting that we were finally able to get this on the calendar for some of our viewers.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a treat to get in front of the screen here and
Yeah,
unleash a little bit of knowledge of what's going on within the industry and kind of
that's
some
it,
cool
man.
innovations. Yeah.
Absolutely. Why don't we start off with just quick intros, man? If you want to just tell us kind of who you are, your position in the company, anything about Roofle you want to share, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Matthew McDaniel, I'm one of the founders, chief marketing officer at Roofle, and sort of the product owner for the technology. So I really help facilitate our development as well as all of our marketing efforts, and just kind of work hand in hand with our leadership team, which is a fine group of individuals to sort of just push this whole thing
Yeah,
to the limit.
absolutely,
So
man.
yeah, a little bit about my background. So I come from a exterior contractor based in Minneapolis, Denver, and now we have an
Okay.
office in Florida, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
the
but
Sunshine
that's
State.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
where
lot
that's
going
where I'm
on
from.
down
Yeah,
there right now. Yeah,
absolutely.
so that's kind of where I cut my teeth in the marketing world, building out
Right.
a really successful program. I was able to kind of drive revenue from maybe 6-7 million annually to now we're over well over 30
That's
for that
great.
company. So definitely learned a lot along the way, and
Yeah.
kind of leveraging a lot of that marketing wisdom into what Roofle does, and kind of the tool
Yeah.
that's built around being able to um, create a pretty phenomenal marketing tool and customer experience at the same time.
Absolutely. No, yeah, it's dynamic stuff, man. When we sought you guys out, and we'll dive into that a little bit, but it's just really kind of flipping the script on the whole industry and bringing something dynamic to the homeowners. And when you think about serving businesses, the companies that really win are the ones that can see past that and think about serving the business's customers. And when you can do that, then it's kind of remarkable what can happen. So really exciting
Yeah,
to unpack some of that.
yeah, definitely. I'll back that up. It's definitely super important to be customer centric, these days.
Yeah,
I know it's difficult in this industry because there is a lot of saturation, a lot of competition, and we sort of kind of pull off of each other and say, okay, this is what they're doing. So there tends to be a lot of kind of self-focus,
yeah,
what makes us great, and why us kind of thing.
right.
And I think we're seeing now more of a shift towards, what can we do for you? How can we add value to you as the homeowner? And I think
Absolutely.
that's when you see a real transition into, that the relationship between the homeowner and the contractor is going to really
Yeah.
strengthen.
No, absolutely. And just, to introduce myself for your audience as well and let you know. So I'm actually Bruce Leffler. I'm the founder of Best Roofle Marketing. We're a full service digital marketing agency specializing in websites, all things Google, and video production. We're in Atlanta, but we serve roofing contractors all over the country. As of today, we're a team of 12. So I really am very selective and try to hire rock stars. But my background is in the corporate world in marketing. I've been coming up on 18 years in digital marketing. That explains all the white hair and still being so young, right?
I'm right
And
behind you, man.
yeah, it'll wear you out. But I tell you, I absolutely love it. And we got a couple of cool things that are unique to digital marketing agencies and unique to the roofing industry that we'll unpack in a little bit. But that's kind of us, man. I had a big corporate run. Worked at AT&T, AOL, reached local, and then most notably, I built a top sales team at Web.com. They were a $2.2 billion marketing agency. We were the top team in the country 5 years in a row. Put on the national sales director hat, and I still wasn't happy even with the salary and the title. So I kind of knew there had to be a better way. And that's kind of where we launched Best Roofer Marketing, and we really niched down in the marketing agency for the roofing industry specifically. So I know we've been working together for some time now on this partnership. We've had the opportunity to both have a presence at RoofCon. That was really great, and I'm just excited to unpack this call, man, and learn more about Roofle specifically that we can convey to our roofing contractors and prospects over 2023 and beyond, and why we think that they're a really good fit and a unique solution to serve those contractor customers of ours, but more importantly, serve their homeowners as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see, Best Roofer Marketing has a very strong presence at a lot of these industry shows. And, I see you guys constantly kind of popping up here and there. And I know just your background and your team's background, you guys are a very strong team. And I love that you have more of a personalized kind of relationship approach with your clients, not just a big numbers game, but, you really kind of engage with them on a personal level with their business. And that's what's exciting for us. And you truly want to add value and help roofers, and I think that's important. I mean, obviously we're all in it to make money and run a business, but I think the integrity of the business and the values behind it, are extremely important too. And it's not just a profit game, but you're actually there to grow individuals.
Yeah, and as we sought this out, we both vetted each other's companies, right? Too. We were on with you, with Joe, with your tech team. Want to make sure it was mutually a good fit and that we had some of the same values, because you're absolutely right. We're all in it to make money, but you can have one of two types of businesses. You can just make money at any cost, or you could have an intentional focus on helping people, knowing that the money is going to follow you. And both of our core values align between Roofle and Best Roofle Marketing. So that's really exciting, man. So with that being said, I'm kind of cool to hear how, who was the brainchild behind Roofle and how it was all born. Like, what happened? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a pretty interesting background to how Roofle kind of came to be. But essentially, I want to give a credit to kind of a full group of individuals. I think we all had contributions. I think it was 2019. We kind of hit a point in our business. This is Hoff and Weber Construction is the company I'm referring to. So that's the company I was doing marketing for at the time. And we had a really strong leadership team, very kind of balanced skill set between all of us. And, we hit a really, really good stride. Our processes were just really solid. We're growing each year. It almost became too easy for us to the point where we're like, all right, what's next here? I think we all have a lot to offer. And then at the same time, we were seeing a ton of kind of technology shifts and an evolution within the industry. You could kind of see a clear path that was happening where, everything was getting digitized. You have, paper records to CRMs, you had hand measuring to aerial measurements, from flipbook presentations to, now you have 3D visualizers. And so we kept seeing this pattern of like, okay, everything is kind of getting closer and closer to, a more full digital experience. And so we said, well, where are things going and where can we take our company? And, we decided to take a huge leap and just build something completely new. So in addition to try to really polish that business, we wanted to just create something entirely different and kind of challenge ourselves and kind of leave a stamp, if we can, on the industry. And so we saw that the next big evolution was going to be, the online sale. Could you sell a roof completely online? Not to say without the sales rep, but without the face-to-face interaction. And so we set out to complete that process. We started kind of what we call brain drains in 2019. We literally sat in a room or a car and just, dumped every thought we had. Ideas and, just, it was an awesome time. That's the time when an entrepreneurship where it's super exciting. It's like you're starting to see the light of this, this idea come to form, and it's just like so immense. You're like, wow, we're at an extremely rare place and time with the right people and this idea. And it's like, now we just have to, grab a hold of our cojones and go for it.
For sure. And and it's awesome though, right? The pioneership that you guys have to like say, hey, we're going to bring something so fresh and so unique, it's never been done. That's a ballsy thing to do, and it's scary, and it takes investment, and you're looking at the short term, the midterm, the long term. But man, what you guys are doing and what you're offering to customers to change the whole experience for every American in the country, right? Everybody that has a home and has a roof, could potentially experience this one day, and you're at the forefront of that, dude, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It was definitely it was a lot of blue ocean starting off. We
Yeah,
super hard to navigate where we're going, and we've taken
yeah,
a lot of twists and turns, but we've finally found solid ground. And
right.
now we're really just building, on top of, really, really strong foundation. And
Yep,
it's definitely exciting. And roofing is just kind of one sector. Once we've kind of perfected this path, there are all the other home services that this is a pretty repeatable model,
sure.
especially with our technology set that we're releasing. And I do want to point out that there are, this is a big shift. This is a disruption to the industry, but there will be some, the traditional sale, the traditional face-to-face in-home complete, process. That's not going away. That's not, but there is this emerging, uh, for one generation of homeowners that do want a more controlled experience where they have all the power. They have, they don't necessarily want to talk to people. They just want to be able to kind of control it within their
Yeah,
own domain. So we're kind of just catering to kind of this new class of consumer that wants this digital sale, and
right.
we're empowering contractors to be able to offer that experience rather than wait until just a few really big corporate
Yep,
companies can offer this, and they just pretty much gobble up the whole industry, and we're all left
absolutely.
as glorified labor houses.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's really good, man. That's a good way to put that for sure. So, when you think about, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but when you think about what you're doing, disrupting the industry, right? What's like the number one challenge, like the biggest problem you would really laser focus say that your product solves at RoofQuote?
Definitely convenience is a big thing,
Right.
transparency. I think one of the biggest challenges with homeowners is finding out what the roof is going to cost without
Yeah.
spending days of research, spending all that time invested. And, even for the contractor, they also are spending a lot of time investing into that lead, or, that homeowner that they're coming out to.
Right.
And oftentimes, they spend hours or whatever it is, maybe spend money on measurements, do all this
Yeah.
to give them a price. And then all of a sudden that homeowner's like, oh, that's way beyond where I thought. And they're a tire kicker.
Yeah.
And, you just burned 3 hours of your time on someone that
Right.
wasn't serious, where you could have, showed them that pretty, very, very accurate estimate. It's not the final, contract price, but something that you can absolutely be confident in
Right.
leading with within seconds, and now they're engaged. Now all the pressure's off for that homeowner and the contractor.
Yeah.
Now you send out your sales rep, they're already expecting to spend, so and so amount. Now you can just upgrade them,
Right.
or you could price drop them. So many different ways you could take it, but really that convenience of getting that instant price, the transparency that builds a lot of
Right.
trust between the homeowner and the contractor. And really we're just getting started in that part of the cycle. So
Yeah.
eventually it's going to get even more convenient and even more speed, uh, more speed between in that sales cycle. It's going to save a lot of time for contractors and homeowners.
Right.
Um, but mainly efficiency, convenience, and transparency are kind of the
Yeah.
combo.
Yeah. And when I love the speed at which it allows you, like you said, the big thing in sales, one of the things I learned early on in building a top sales team is you have to qualify, but more importantly, you have to disqualify, right? Because so many salespeople, and this applies to roofers as well, they get so excited just because somebody's going to talk to them. They're, oh my God, this homeowner is going to talk to me. They called in, they want me to come out, blah, 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 blah. If they're not qualified, you could waste a lot of time doing that. That could be repurposed finding qualified opportunities. And it's about quality over quantity. And the same thing applies to you, right? You're allowing roofers to now almost pre-qualify somebody online. And then for the sales guy, it should help support increased closing ratios because it eliminates the element of surprise, right? This homeowner knows that the number of squares on my roof, it's going to be a $20,000 project, right? So then when you get out there, polish it up, change the material, add on a couple of repairs or wood rots or whatever, it's 22,000. Like you said, you're just upgrading, but there's no element of surprise. So they've
Yeah.
already gone through your website. And secondly, I think for the roofing contractors, if you're the only guy in, you guys are in Minneapolis or I'm here in Atlanta, if you're the only guy in your city that's installed RoofLe, when somebody's looking at your website, if somebody's looking at somebody else's website, that's like putting you light years ahead of not just from a homeowner experience perspective, but like your adoption of technology. You look like a modern roofer. You don't look like
Yep.
a traditional old school guy that shows up in a beat up truck smelling like a pack of Marlboros. You're like a cutting edge company, right? So this solves a lot of problems, I think, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And trust, again, going back to, that's been kind of a stain on the industry for a long time. And it's really not, obviously, we know things have really changed, and there's a lot of integrity in this industry, and there's tons of companies that do the right thing and they stand behind their work. And we want to honor and respect that side of the business. But you're absolutely right. I think, showing that you have technology that can deliver such an experience right away puts you in a new echelon, for the homeowner. In the homeowner's mind, they're like, oh, this is not a brand new company that's just out of nowhere. So you're already building in trust into that relationship. And then being able to say, hey, here's our price, there's no games, there's no gimmicks, there's no high pressure, that's a whole nother level of trust there.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
really
exciting.
it's really exciting stuff. So we're just excited about the partnership, man. I look at this like, at Best Roofer Marketing, I covered some of this, but how we really envision bringing the value to our customers is just by one, letting them look at a demo with you guys, because your team's, very professional and at the upper end of what we would expect a referral strategic partner like you guys to be. But then secondly, making it seamless to integrate this, right? So roofers by nature, when we call them roofers versus roofing companies, there's a stigma, but roofing companies, a lot of them have been very successful for decades. And if you think what that means, decades back, 2 decades ago was Yellow Pages. The internet wasn't even really around, right? Or it wasn't widely adopted. Websites were a foreign concept. So getting them to have had successfully made millions of dollars a year for the last 20 years to adopt technology is tough, but it's also eye-opening for them, right? And then what we're seeing, having contractors all over the company all over the country, there's a lot of owners whose kids are coming up in the business now, and so they're late 20s, early 30s. They're taking over mom or dad's business, right? And they're going to try to pivot quickly to being a cutting-edge technology, social-driven, dynamic roofing company. This is a great solution for them to do that. That's affordable and practical, and literally one job could pay for the investment for the entire year, right? So it's really good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for that. And definitely, and that's why we look for partners like you, because it is a phenomenal tool. But I think it really gets powerful when you have the right marketing strategy behind it,
right,
and know how to fully leverage it in your sales. And we can talk about some of those ideas. But yeah, it certainly is. It can be tough at first for some companies to adopt that have a built-in, tried and true process for so many years. They're pretty big, but we do have a few clients that are national. They're pretty massive companies, and they understand that early tech adopters can actually gain a ton of market share if the technology is strong enough. And
absolutely,
we kind of go back to the Blockbuster Netflix meme of so Blockbuster actually had the chance to buy Netflix at a pretty cheap price, kind of put them on the shelf, or essentially do what they're doing. Or they can pretty much do nothing and just assume that it wasn't going to work. And we all know how that story ended.
Yeah, they did roll the dice properly on that.
Yeah.
That's
so and it's not to, throw fear out there or anything and say, hey, you need to change, but you do need to understand there is a shift in buyers, the consumer is there's a generational shift happening. There's generational shift in business owners, and we all understand the direction that it's going. It's going to get more digital. And again, the face-to-face, belly-to-belly, that's not going away, and there's still going to be some interaction on site at some point, whether that's after the sale's been made and you're going to just verify, the site for material orders, or whether you're going out there just to close the deal. There's still plenty of room for that face-to-face interaction. So we're not trying to totally dehumanize the process. It's just want to kind of speed things up, make it more efficient, remove some of the barriers in that
Yeah.
process, and just kind of make it better for both sides of the equation.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I say this all the time. There's so many small businesses that want to do e-commerce, right? The problem is they can't do e-commerce effectively because Amazon and Walmart control 99.9% of the marketplace, not just from an advertising perspective. They have conditioned homeowners across America to expect that whatever I go on and type into my computer and put my credit card number in, if I'm not going to have it today, I'm going to have it within 2 days on my doorstep, and I'm not going to pay for it. So small business owners can't keep up with that, right? And it's the same thing here. We are getting conditioned to be able to log onto a computer and make stuff happen. You guys are just taking it from, deodorants and kids' toys showing up on your door to we can do the same thing and create the same experience that you've already been conditioned by these major conglomerates, some of the biggest companies in the world. You've already been conditioned. We can do that for your roof. And that's going to be really appealing, especially as the age of homeownership continues to go down and younger people are continuing to be the next generation of homeowners for sure. So I commend you guys for being at the forefront of it. Really, it's
Yeah.
honestly a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I think the market's finally ready for this. I think more and more contractors understand that this is possible, and we've made it super easy to
Yeah.
integrate. And there's two directions this could go. Like you said, there's the full Amazon, where you have this kind of centralized entity that's controlling, where everybody comes. Now, that's still a healthy ecosystem for buyers and sellers, but what we're doing is more of kind of a Shopify or BigCommerce type of method where we're giving you the tools to sell on your site, so it's kind of empowering your brand. And that's more of a decentralized approach where, it's not being controlled by one central marketplace, but we're actually giving it out to all these businesses so they can compete and stay relevant. And we're doing that before one of those big
the conglomerates kind of take over, right?
Exactly.
Concept it. Yeah. No, that's great, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us who are some of your best clients? Like who is this product really for? Kind of just break that down so our audience knows.
Yeah, sure. So this can be used in several different ways. We see a lot of small to mid-sized companies being very successful with this. Some of the companies that are brand new or that aren't huge, that have a very small web presence, they could still find a lot of value in the tool, but it might be more difficult on the lead capturing side. So there's a lot of ways you can extract value from it. The most obvious way is turning website visitors into leads. So, rather than just have them filling out a traditional form and hopefully they get a call back, now they have a really, really strong call to action. See your price within a few clicks, within seconds. It's the world's fastest instant estimate, And so it's turning a lot more people that go to your site into actually put their information in, even if it's just their address and they back out and say, you know what, I'm not really sure I want to put my info in. We still log that address, so the contractor still will see that address that gets captured. So that's the first value, is just more leads from website visitors. These are high quality leads. These are leads that have seen price. The other is using it in the field. So we have a lot of contractors that are actually using it door to door. And particularly in this hurricane situation down in Fort Myers, we have several clients that are, getting estimates out as fast as possible is kind of the name of the game down there. And rather than waiting an hour, to get a measurement back, to get that quote out and you're in the home, now you're just able to right away when you're at the doorstep, it's within a minute, you're giving them a price. And so it's a very effective kind of field tool as well. So
we have some guys. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just to recap. So if your website is not producing a ton of traffic and maybe you haven't set up all those marketing strategies, you could still get the value just from being able to sell out in the field, create estimates very quickly. Even virtually, let's say there's a lead that comes in, even if it's a referral lead that comes in, but it's an hour and a half away. You say,
Right.
do I want to drive an hour and a half, or I just want to hop on the phone or a video call and
Yeah.
just present this really quickly, you know?
Yeah, cutting that windshield time, it's efficient. It's efficient in so many ways, man. So it's really good. We've got some guys working the storms down at Fort Myers and North Fort, and even down in Naples, and it's just crazy down there, right? The
Yeah.
opportunity and so forth. I would say that to kind of share with your audience as well. One of the things that sets us apart as an agency and why we reach out to you guys is we put best roofer marketing in our name, and we didn't put biggest, right? There's a lot of agencies out here that are just sell every roofer at all costs, and that's all they want to do. Our approach is completely different, right? We've got a mission that is called $1 billion impact. And what it essentially says is we are only going to work with 100 roofing companies at a time. We genuinely consider those partnerships. We do a lot of pre-qualification up front, and where we take it a step further than just the call tracking, which we consider kind of table stakes. But we also audit all of the calls for our roofing contractors, and then we
Nice.
work with them once a month to see what they really closed by using their CRM, interactive spreadsheets, etc. We are committed to helping each one of the companies we partner with sell at least $10 million. And what that does at a top level is it impacts the roofing industry as a whole with a really significant number. $1 billion is not a small amount of money. So if we can take this approach where we don't want to work with 500 or 1,000 roofers, I've worked with those companies, and I've kind of been there, done that. We want to work with 100 companies, bring in our best strategic partners like Roofle that we've vetted to really give these customers a dynamic and cutting edge approach to dominating their market. Right. So it's a totally different approach, but it's more boutique in the sense that we can offer white glove service. We can really dive into the partnership. And for us, when we bring in our trusted partners like you guys, it just brings so much more value to the table than just trying to sell all day long.
Yep. Yeah, 100%, and that really ultimately is what it's about, is bringing value and results, and I
Yeah.
think if you overpromise and underdeliver, I think that's just far too common in this industry. And
Right. Yeah.
that's
On both
one thing
sides.
I love that about Best Roofer Marketing, is that they are careful to make sure that you don't take on clients that they're just another notch on the belt, but you can actually deliver results that are going to impact and grow, not
Yeah.
not just the company, but the people that run that company. And that's the important part.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. So, with that being said, man, I mean, this is a really good kind of starting point to share with kind of both of our brands and different audiences why we put this strategic partnership together. If somebody wants to get a demo of Drupal through Best Drupal Marketing, where would you say the best starting point would be?
So we do have a partnership page with you all.
Yep.
There is a nice kind of give the tool a try.
Right.
There's a nice demo on the page, so you can give it a try for yourself. But if you want a complete demo of the back end, you see the Pro Portal, you'll see how to configure everything. There is a link, or there's a scheduling. There's a schedule on that page. You can just choose a time.
Right.
It's super easy.
Yeah,
So,
right there. Awesome. And we'll put that link in the video below so individuals can actually book time with us.
for sure.
I think the value is for the prospects coming through our pages, not only do they get access to your team still directly, but they get our strategists as well involved, so we can really come up with holistic solutions from the best of both worlds to set these customers up for success in their market. It's not only dominate against their competition, but to really go out there and serve the homeowners as efficiently as possible, right? Because we get excited like you guys that, hey, when I make a roofer money, it's not because at the end of the day, it's just a number on their bank on their screen, how much money you have. It really isn't that significant. But for me, what excites me is how does that impact their real families? How does that impact their kids' college or little league baseball in their community, or their employees, or ability to put good people back to work? So it's what that money can do for them, and that's really what drives us and motivates us. So I'm just excited to, in 2023 and beyond, get this collaboration off of the ground and really bring in some new opportunities for Roofle and Best Roofle Marketing.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the power of marketing. And I think that's why I gotten so infatuated by it. When I started off, is seeing you can be a real big workhorse and you can do all these things. You can be omni-channel where you're just like spreading seeds everywhere, marketing seeds all over the place, and you're just really busting. And then, to see that actually turn into growth and to
Right.
see that impact the people that you've surrounded yourself with and see
Yeah.
their lives actually lift and see, to me, I saw that on a micro level with one company, and I